All right, we are live, and now I'm going to get up and running so that you can see what we have here. All right. So basically, founder of the NaKed movement. My sister, Torrey Tucker, just read my bio to you guys, and you probably didn't hear her because we weren't live at the time. But Periscope got some stuff. I'm on Periscope as well, and I'm scoping this thing too. So for the 3 steps to becoming naked. Okay, this is going to be, I hope you guys are ready, and I hope you are positioned for power. Got some stuff up. I'm on Periscope as well, and I'm scoping this thing too. So kind of getting this thing here. Okay, we're gonna jump right in. I don't know, something funny just happened. We're gonna keep going. Anywho, so naked, the definition. Now here's the definition you guys won't see in the dictionary because it's the definition that I came up with. And that is of being vulnerable and transparent. Naked is the act of being vulnerable and transparent in pursuit of transformation. Through performance and presentation, you desire to live your greatest life possible, to impact and influence the lives of others. You have a vision. You want to articulate that vision. You are in a leadership position. You want to leave a legacy proud of. And last but not least, you have dreams and desires, and you are a human being and a resident of Earth. Okay? So if these things for the 3 steps to becoming naked, then okay, this is going to be, I hope you guys are ready, and I hope you are positioned as well, and scoping this thing too. So, okay, we're going back in. Okay. Kind of getting this thing. Okay, we're gonna jump right in. I don't think funny just happened. We're gonna keep going. Y'all, technical stuff and me. Anywho, so naked. All right, in a second, we're gonna jump back in. Let me. Oh. Let me get us. Naked. The definition you guys won't see in the dictionary because it's the definition that I came up with. You guys see me out here? And that is to being vulnerable and transparent. Naked is the act vulnerable and transparent in pursuit transformation. Is your computer up, Will? It's not up? It couldn't come up with the internet? Okay, let me have that, please. Sometimes you just gotta decompress, and we will get this going. Okay, so hopefully that's just a little playback, feedback or something that's coming in. But through presentation, you desire to live your greatest. Like every time I start talking, it wants to talk. Okay, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna forge through this. Life possible to impact and influence the lives of others. Have a vision. You want to articulate that vision. You are in leadership. You want to leave a legacy proud of. And last but not least, okay, I think we got it. I'm going back in. Hopefully. Okay, some of my friends on Periscope just kind of left me, but we're gonna. So tonight I'm going to be introducing you to the 3 components of being naked, right? You will have the tools to live authentically, stand in your power and own your story. So don't worry, for all of you who want to advance your power and accelerate your process of being positioned for power, of being naked, I'm going to offer you a way to get the important strategies and support you're going to need to get deeper and go farther, faster, okay? So we're going to jump right in here, and we're going to talk about the process of being naked. Now, you're going to use the I do method, which is identify, define, overcome. Okay, Periscope, overcome. Number 1, you're going to have a breakdown. You're going to break down by identifying the stuff that is causing the weight. A lot of times we carry around with us things that have built up over a period of time, or something that we've used as a defense mechanism to not be afraid, or to not go through something that's already broken you down, or something that's already caused havoc in your life. You build up a resistance to that, and it becomes stuff. It becomes stuff that you carry around, weight that you carry around with you. So first of all, in your breakdown, you want to identify all that stuff that's causing the weight. And then number 2, you want to have a treasure hunt. You want to have a treasure hunt for the things that make you great. You want to define the things that make you great. And sometimes they're not readily available to us because we've covered them up so much with our stuff that we don't even realize that they're still there, or that they've been there all along. The things that make you great, the things that propel you to your greatness. Okay? So you have a treasure hunt. We go on a treasure hunt for those things. We start to find those things, start to identify those things, discover those things, and then you define them by your own definition, by no one's definition but your own, okay? And then number 3, ownership. Ownership. This is how you overcome. You've got to own your story. The things you've been through, you can't pretend that they're not there. You can't pretend that you haven't gone through anything. As a matter of fact, the things you've gone through is your greatest strength. It's your power tool. So you overcome the weight and accept what's great. The things you've already went on that treasure hunt for, the things you already defined about your greatness, you accept that. And then you overcome the weight that covers that up. And then in the process of doing that, guess what? You own your power. You own your power because you've been discovering it all along, discovering it, and now you're going to begin to stand in it, and then you're going to begin to own it. So here we are, guys. The 3 steps to becoming naked. Number one, be vulnerable. Be vulnerable. Be transparent. Number two, be transparent. Number three, yield to your transformation. Now, vulnerability. Being vulnerable. Vulnerability is courageously showing up, telling your story, and bringing your whole heart to it. It's showing up to the party. Vulnerability is the vehicle. Now, your party, I have to let you guys know that, because in the information that I distributed about the webinar and things that it will allow you to be able to, things I said was it will help you to build your like, know, trust factor. One thing I know for sure is that people do business with, confide in, are open with, seek relationship with people they like, know, and trust. Okay, so when we're talking about this party, okay, because we're going to have a little party theme here. We're talking about the party. What is the party? Your relationship can be the party. Your business can be the party. Your audience show up before, that you show up is your party, okay? So vulnerability brings you to the party. It brings you to the party, and it allows you to show up. Okay. Now, one of the things that we need to talk about is fear, because fear is the nemesis of vulnerability. It's a form of paralysis. Vulnerability that builds connection, right? It's the bridge that builds connection, and your story is what takes you there. Your story helps you to build that connection. And if you don't make the connection, you lose the opportunity for a great and brilliant and wonderful exchange of energy that will allow transformation to happen. Okay? It's valuable. It's a valuable exchange of energy that leads you to that transformation within yourself and with others. Okay? Now, vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. I hope you guys have your paper and your pen out to take notes about this, because these things you're going to want to remember. You're going to want to ponder over these things over and over again. You want to learn how you can implement. You want to find places in your life where you can implement these things to see the result, because just listening to me is not going to do anything. But to reinforce it for yourself, to ponder it over, meditate on it. Meditation is just pondering over something. It's spending time with it, spending mental time, mental energy, physical energy with it, okay? So the connection is the story. Remember that. The connection is your story. It's in your story. Now, you can present info, which is you can tell your story, but you can present that. But if you're not vulnerable with it, you can provide a shift, which means you move information from one place to another. We need is change. Shift is important, but change is what makes that shift all the more important, all the more necessary, is for us to get to the place where we can change. All right? Vulnerability, I love this quote. I really do. Vulnerability becomes the door to intimacy, to being ourselves, to being real, to being where we are. But for that to happen, we have to be willing to be vulnerable to what is. Being vulnerable means that our soul is open for things to arise in it. It is not defended. Okay? Now, what I get from this, the two things I get from this is intimacy and authenticity. Okay? Allowing yourself to be discoverable. Just like Bluetooth, right? Like Bluetooth pairing. If the device is not discoverable, right? The pairing device cannot locate it. Thus, the two devices what cannot connect, cannot successfully connect. So if you're thinking, if you're in a relationship or you're seeking relationship with someone, being vulnerable in this and being honest enough to be discoverable, then you're not going to come up on the radar. And that you can actually connect. Because what are we talking about? The like, no trust factor. People do business with, confide in, are open with, seek relationship with people they like, know, and trust. Okay? That's vulnerability. Now, number 2 is transparency. Being transparent. Transparency is how you tell your story. Being in a constant realm of absolute truth. Absolute truth is what you do at the party. Keeping with the party thing, is what you do at the party. How you are seen and heard. So you show up, but what do we see from you? What do we hear from you? That's transparency. Now, being in a space, there's something that can kill your transparency, y'all. It's being in a space of judgment. And being in a space of self-judgment stifles your transparency or your truth. Okay? And it makes what should be clear murky. And I'm sorry for that, y'all. We got some distractions going on. That's all right, okay? We are in a space, if you're in a space of self-judgment, you stifle your transparency or your truth. And it makes what should be clear, coming from you, it makes what should be clear murky. It fogs that clarity, the clarity of an image. Image allows authentic beauty to shine through at its fullest capacity. So is your truth, here's the question you need to ask yourself, is my truth transparent, clearly visible? Or is it translucent, barely visible, or opaque? Too darn foggy to tell if it's actually there or not. Ask yourself that question. Is my truth transparent, translucent, or opaque? What are people seeing from me? How am I showing up? What am I saying? Is it in truth? How am I living? Is it in truth? Like no trust factor. Like no trust factor. Are you trusted? Can people trust you? Guess what? Transparency is the fundament of trust. If they can't see through you to know that you're true, they can't see your truth transparently, then they won't be able to trust. Number 3, transformation, right? Yielding to transformation. Transformation is the result of you telling your truth, your story in truth. Y'all, it's at the party. How you are impacted at the party. So you show up, how do we see you? How do we hear you? And now what we hear from you and see from you, how does that impact the people? How are you impacted? Because it's an exchange. It's an exchange of energy. What are you giving to then get something? Because what you give determines what you're going to get, okay? Now, transformation is all about change, right? So you need to be in the way of change. You need to embrace it. You need to embrace your change. Don't deflect it. Don't deflect it and look for the change in other people or look for other people to change. Finding out what they need to change and or what you feel they need in order to change. No. Identify what and how things must change in you first. In you, you have to be the change you wish to see, right? So you engage in meaningful activity at the party. You get to say what you engage in. You don't just go there engaging in any old thing. You have to be intentional. When you come to the party, know what you desire, know what you want, know what you stand for, and engage in meaningful activity that complements that complements who you are and what you stand for. Then be open to the environment of change. A mindset shift is required. It is, yes, but like we said earlier, it's not the transformation. The shift is not the transformation. It's helping you get to the transformation because you got to move it. You got to move what you've learned into action. You got to move what you've learned into implementation. But transformation is going beyond the shift to making the change. Okay? Shift is the movement from one thing to another. The change or the transformation is a metamorphosis, a change in the properties of the thing. Okay? So you want a complete change. Now, it doesn't mean you have to completely change from who you are, but you just change into your next level of greatness, your higher self. You change into your greater being. If you do not change, you become extinct. I really like this quote. This is from Who Moved My Cheese? Which is all about change. If you have not read that book, I encourage you to read it. I believe everybody should read Who Moved My Cheese. But it's all about accepting your change. And if you do not change, you become extinct. The reason people don't yield to their transformation is because they are afraid of change. They are afraid of the unknown. But change, your transformation, is vitally important to your vision. It's vitally important to your vision and to your like, know, and trust factor. You become stale in a comatose state of living where you may or may not ever elevate or step into your next stage of greatness, because those things that you desire, those changes that you desire to see happen, or the greatness that you desire to see in yourself requires evolution, which is change. Is change, it's transformation. You cannot lead transformation. For all of you guys who coaches and leaders and whatnot, you cannot lead the transformation if you cannot yield to your own transformation. Put yourself in the way of change. Be accepting of your change. Evaluate who you are now and think about where you want to go, and decide if who you are now is able to go where you desire to go with what you have. And if you find that what you have is lacking of something that's required over there, because you need to do your homework about where you want to go, and whatever that requires over there, if you do not possess that within you, or if it's not at its greatest capacity in you, some growth needs to happen. And that's okay, because we all need to grow. We all need to grow. We all need to mature. We all need to become, to into that state of becoming. Okay, so that's where your transformation happens, where your change happens. It's where your evolution happens, and you see what needs to happen. You got to put a plan in action to make that change. Excuse me. The byproducts, or the benefits. I had to take a little drink. Byproducts of the benefits of being naked. Transformation. Transformation is a result of being naked, of being vulnerable and transparent. Authenticity, byproduct, is a byproduct. Impact, confidence, power. Now, prosperity, abundance, and profit. Prosperity, abundance, and profit are results as well, because through the process of being naked, you establish and reinforce your no trust factor. Your authenticity and power are attractive. It becomes attractive, which people can see. People can sense that, and they are drawn to you. They become drawn to you. You become a positive influence in your community, your family, the marketplace, which all offers opportunities. It all offers opportunities for impact. Now you've lifted, once you engage in your naked process, you begin to lift the judgment of self from your conscience, and that creates a space for confidence to reside. You have changed your mind, your activity, and how you operate going forward. Can somebody say power? That's power. Because you've begun to take a stand in your power. Now, there are levels of power, and you can excel and grow in each. But you got to get there first. You got to grow to these different levels. You got to change how office is. Okay? Now, get the deep dive. I said that I'll offer you a way. Well, this is the way for the deep dive to get into stuff, okay? That's the NaKed program. The NaKed program enrollment begins September 1st for this program. 6 weeks, 2 group calls, a powerful process. Stand in your power. Begin to stand in your power. Discover your epic factor. Tell your story powerfully. Increase your power, your influence, your confidence. And we'll talk some more about this later, but it's coming, okay? Sorry about that. Now, the NaKed formulas. Vulnerability plus transparency equals transformation. Remember, transformation is a result, right? Engage in transformation as you engage in vulnerability and transparency as well. But when you do vulnerability and transferring in that process, just doing those 2 things, yielding to your transformation will yield more transformation, will yield other results. Times transparency times transformation over time equals authentic living. So you multiply your vulnerability with your transparency, your transformation, meaning that process is consistently over is living authentically. That's living authentically. And that goes beyond just being authentic when it's convenient. Because a lot of people want to be authentic when it's convenient to them, but then when they're done, they're like, oh man, I can stop being myself and go back to, wearing a mask or being who somebody else thinks I should be. So that's not authentic living. That's being authentic conveniently when it's convenient for you. But consistently being authentic, consistent is the key, right? Consistently being okay with who you are at any given time as a way of life is authentic living. And living authentically is consistently standing in your power on your story. Okay? Now, how can you join the movement? Because being naked is a movement. It's called the NaKed movement, right? Because more people need to be naked. A lot of people clam up and disown their story because they don't want people to see who they really are. But who you really are is the beauty of living. That's real. If you can live as who you really are and be okay with that, that is living. So how you can join the movement, right? Purchase a book and post your favorite poem. For my friends out in Periscope there, here's the book that I'm talking about. Nude Tales of an Enchanted Heart. You can post a book, purchase a book and post your favorite poem, not just your favorite poem, but something that resonates with you and your story. Because it's all about helping you to tell your story. Tell your story through someone else's. If somebody has something similar, share this, or afraid of putting your name yourself. Tell it as someone else's story and live until you tell it for yourself. Right? Tell your own story for yourself. Your favorite poem, #NaKed, so we can identify as a community of people who are standing in their power, people who are owning who they are and living authentically, right? I am NaKed, hashtag the NaKed movement, hashtag those hashtags work, will identify us. And there's a book, The NaKed Reading. You can join the NaKed community, Naked and Loving It, out there on NaKed and Loving It community. Host a NaKed reading. It's a reading, just like I was telling you about your story. People gather in an intimate space led by a host. Host shares poems, and they all read poems collectively. Start to be stripped just by being in community. It's a healing fest, and it's powerful. And if you want to know more about it, site and check out some more details. Really get the details on it, because it's some really breakthroughs at these readings. Okay, how can you play with me and accelerate your NaKed process? Because y'all don't play about nobody's breakthroughs. Okay, I don't play about the breakthroughs. I am committed. When people come to me and they say, Dakira, I want to be naked, I want to be vulnerable, I don't play around with it, okay? And so here's the NaKed program is a great way to become naked on your terms, to really get deep in it, okay? At the beginning, I said there is a way for you to go deeper in your journey, to start seeing results quicker than if you were going to piecemeal it, your own kind of process, arbitrary development or something like that, based on time and convenience. Because let's be honest, y'all, we don't ever have the time. We can hardly find the time, and it's never convenient. I'm working and focusing on things we need to change, because a lot of times when you get deep into, you start thinking about what you need to change. You feel like, oh my God, that's just too much. Let's do right now. So what happens? Back burner, right? You put yourself on the back burner because it comes, which, convenient, the time factor. You never really have that time. But let me tell you this, once you take a bold stand to go to your next and seek expansion on a greater level, and decide to invest in you, that's when you get results. That's when you start to play big. That's when you begin to really show up. And until that, you're just waiting on the right time, right? Which is passive. Anybody got time for that? Active means jumping in, bam, getting down to business, right? Because when may never come. So don't leave your dreams to happenstance. Don't leave your dreams to happenstance. So enrollment begins September 1st. Right? 6-week program. For the program on Periscope, won't be able to see this program, but if I'll give you the information to go find out where you can watch this again, okay, so you can get this. But there are 3 modules, 2 weeks each for each module. There's 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks is the break. Now this module will take you through the first phase of being naked, which is a stripping process. Now that process is designed to break down the weight. Remember from the I do process, you are going to identify, right, the things that cause all the weight, the stuff. We call it stuff. So you're going to do that during the first 2 weeks. The second 2 weeks is all about the shift. Remember, I told you the shift is necessary. It's not complete. It's not finite, but it is a shift that has to occur. And that's in your with your mentality, right? So this second module will move you through the second phase of being naked, which is all about discovering your gems, the treasure hunt. Remember, we talked about the treasure hunt. The gems, and then you develop a powerful, epic mindset. The third module, which is the last 2 weeks of the program, you're learning to stand on your power, on your story and in your power. Okay, now in this module, you go through the last phase of being naked, which is the ownership. Remember, ownership, overcoming and owning. And that's all about owning your power. Okay? So that's the NaKed program. That's the outline. That's the basic outline. How you can get started with this program. The program originally is $597. It's $597, but for the first by September 6th, the price will be $297. The first 6 by September 6th will not pay $597. You'll pay $297. Oh, we kind of skipped something. Okay, so you will pay $99 today. If you pay $99 today, you will save your spot in the program at $99, the pre-course, before the courses ever start. Before the courses begin, you can start today and save your spot. Then you will have 2 remaining September 17th. This is a limited time thing, okay? For the first 6, by the 6, you can be a founder. The investment for the next round will probably go up. It will probably increase. So, and if you're on the website, you can look right next to the video that's playing. You can look right next to that on your right and click I'm ready. If you're saying to Curia, I'm ready to get naked. I'm ready to be naked and stand in my power to discover where my power is, because you gotta know where your power is, so that you can tap into it and discover all that your abundance. There's so many possessed inherently have, but a lot of people walk around here powerless because they don't take the opportunity to tap inside to find that power, or to connect to a power source that will infuse them with the power that they think they don't have, but they already have within them. So if you're saying, that's me, Dakiria, I want to try this out. I want to get some more power up in my life. I want to get naked. I want to stand on my story. I don't want to be a prisoner in my story. I want to jump out of my story and grab and start writing instead of letting someone else narrate or write. I'm ready to take control of this thing. If you're saying to Curia, that's me, then just hit that button. I'm ready. I'm ready. If not now, then when? Look, if it's not for you, that's okay. You may know somebody who can take advantage. Don't keep a good thing to yourself. Spread the news. There's this thing called the NaKed movement, the NaKed process, where you can be more powerful than you ever thought you could, where you can actually really believe in the manifestation that is out there for you. You can believe in greater, because greater is believe in being powerful, because you are epic. EPIC is an acronym. EPIC stands for extraordinary, powerful, inspiring, and captivating. That is you, my dear. That is you. You are epic. Your story is epic. So how about owning your epic factor, right? How about owning that? How about finding some more information about that, and get into community with you want to be about that, so you can grow, so you can elevate, to see you in the program, or if it's for you, and if you mention or something like that, I'm not here to convince you. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to convince you, but go to my website, you guys. That's next. That's the next thing on the list, is the grand opening. Thank you guys so much for being with me on this webinar. I hope you've gotten so much. I hope your notebooks are filled up with inspiration and innovation, that you go away from this creatively inspired to do something, whether it's make a move, a shift, a change, or do some result that you in your life. I hope that happened for you tonight. So please celebrate with me, okay? A website. I'm so excited about this. It's the nakedmovement.com/party. Go to that. Go to that page. And let's have a celebration. Let's celebrate being naked, or the process, going into the process of being naked. I encourage you to start being more vulnerable. Party for my friends out there on Facebook. Not Facebook, Periscope. Periscope. Let me not cover it up. There you go. So go to that page, the nakedmovement.com/party, and let's party it up. Get into the website, get some inspiration, share pages, or leave comments. Have a great time. Be inspired. Be blessed. And most importantly, be naked. It has been a pleasure serving you this evening. Kyria Little, the founder of the NaKed Movement, and I am leaving you to your journey naked. Good night. Morning or afternoon. Bye-bye.